And now we're just like, all right, we're waiting for parts, and we're getting new equipment, and hopefully we'll scale up as quickly as we can. That's all we can do, unfortunately.
So the new batches have a harder case too, right? So that should help the ship as well.
Well, no, not really. I don't. But it has better packaging. Usually, like I think batch 2, people will testify if they order both batches that batch 2 has a way better packaging thing to prevent damages than batch 1 did.
They're the same case.
Yeah, we're making small design adjustments every time though. Like batch 2 has slightly different design than batch 1. I mean, minuscule, like not too crazy on the performance end. Maybe like the later half of batch 2 and batch 3 will be like 5% more power efficient, simply because we have better routing on the PCB. But it's small. Like if you there's actually in batch 2 Avalon sitting on our table over there, so you guys want to go see it. And it has like a wind. Yeah, it's right next to business. Yeah, so it's on the table. I don't know how people miss it. It's like a box, black, like 3 modules on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no one's selling it yet, huh?
yeah, I was like, I'm not leaving this thing locked up in here. That's crazy. I took it back to my hotel room. Out of here. And the joke is that
what room are you in, by the
way? we estimated that like traveling and just not turning it on while it's sitting over here, it's like losing tons of money.
Losing money.
Losing like $2,000 something already. But whatever. Like this is our joke. Our internal joke is always about how much money we lost. It's like, whatever. Because it is.
If you want to ship mine, I'll take mine right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are complaining that we're not addressing like the ordering issue from batch 2, which there's a lot of. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to be like I'm not gonna tell you like 4 to 6 weeks or sometime soon. I'm gonna solve the shipping issue first, secure that, then start production, make sure that's okay. And when we actually have units, we'll solve it and ship it out, right? Like sure, a lot of people are being antsy, but like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, it's fine, and then like 2 weeks later nothing happens, like that's not what we're gonna do. So
how are you dealing with that wallet bid clusterfuck where the first day?
Yeah, I'm still solving that. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like if you run my original statement about switching payment processors, I wanted to get them this like real world test because they never had. Like, what if somebody who didn't know about like Bitcoins got on their servers and was like, "What the hell is this?" And there's all sorts of bugs, and they'll never use Bitcoin again. Like, that's not cool. So like we were like sort of prepared for it, and we helped out with some of the coding and some of the like logic. Like I did this with Pacius on batch 1, and I did this with Wallaby on batch 2, and this was why Wallaby has essentially switched and made a new thing that's a lot better. And then BitPay, which has long time experience in 2011, didn't really need anything, and they kind of just like, wow, this is cool. And then and now I mean, we could have used our system from day one. Like we built this like Electrum Master public key thing, so we don't ever trust money on the local server. It's actually open source on GitHub, under a account. It's called like Bitcoin payments for WooCommerce or something. Like if you do the search, it'll pop up, and it has the ability to use Electrum Master public keys to generate new payment addresses and uses blockchain.info API to put the stuff. So even if your server gets compromised, you won't lose any money, which is like I think the coolest thing that needs to happen for open source payment gateways. Because there's a lot of like paid payment gateways, right? We're like 5 now, and there's no open source version. So we've been working on that, but at the same time we wanted to like
so you guys just like manually pulling in orders from WalletPay or something like that?
Yeah, that's what we're doing now. We'll clean it up eventually. I mean, this is the mess that has to blow over, right? But so as soon as batch 2, batch 3 finishes, we're kind of like, oh yeah, and now we're gonna like go back and finally, work on backend for the next generation, which will be ready in about maybe 3 months or so. And it's on 55 in case anybody's wondering. I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna ask. And
it's a dual module.
What?
The one you sent the email on the new smaller unit.
I don't think we're gonna do that. Maybe for the next batch. Like I said, next generation. I said that if we need to sell chips to make money for the next generation, we will. If we need to build units for that, we will. So like, whatever the case is, like for that, then we'll do it. But for the time being, it's like not relevant to decide.
You can measure batch 1 to 3 in the hundreds of units, right? Can you give everybody a sense of how much hash power is coming down the road where you're selling chips to?
Sure.
Like, how many chips do you think are, do you know?
Yeah, I do know. About 500,000.
500,000 are on order. Okay.
But you have to also understand that like people are not gonna deploy as fast, just like we didn't deploy as fast. Like it's not gonna be like, oh, next day 20T is gonna go up. Like that never happens. That never will happen in my opinion until some professional gets in like later on down the line. For the time being, like people are gonna slowly bring things online, so it's actually gonna be quite linear in my opinion, which will be cool. But but some like again, like I said, legitimate IC company comes in and puts down like 100T. They could do that. They could easily done this. It's not, but it's just like the time factor again. Like it's gonna take them time to worry about like power. Like once you get past a few T's, like this is the problem that Friedcat had. Like once you get past like 1 to 2 T's, and managing power distribution and internet and cooling and all that becomes a huge issue. Like if you don't have anybody who's been working on a server room with custom servers for like years of experience, you just won't be able to solve that. Like that's why they're starting to sell units. They just because they couldn't like run any more stuff. Like that's what I heard, anyways.
Do you know Friedcat? Just curious. So
Yeah.
his identity's kind of hitting on the forums.
Yeah. Well, I don't know him personally, but because I haven't been back to China since early when I came back to deliver the unit. But Shang Fu has met him, so yeah, we know who he is and we know his background, but like where he lives, no.